Welcome to the Coach's Corner. I'm Mike Van Hoozer. Today, I wanted to talk to you about attitude and how to develop the best positive attitude in your life. And attitude is very important if we want to accomplish anything in life and developing a consistent positive attitude. And so I'm going to give you 3 tips for how to do that based on our work and working with athletes and working with business leaders and entrepreneurs in life. It's based on an acronym that we use in helping people make the most of the moments in their life. And the acronym is this: CAR. C stands for choice. And so it's the choices of what we choose to focus on in our lives. The choices that we make in our lives is very important. The A stands for attitude, and that's what we're talking about today. And R stands for response. How do we respond when things don't go the way that we thought they should or would? So let's talk about attitude, and I want to talk about 3 ways that you can develop the best attitude. The first is to have a positive mindset. And I think it's important that when we think about our mind that we may have different thoughts that jump in our brain, and we work with athletes all the time about dealing with negative thoughts. But our mind can choose what to do with those thoughts. And developing a positive mindset is really important no matter what we face. When things are going great or when things are going bad, having a positive mindset will help us to persist through that and have perseverance through those moments in life. And when we think about a positive mindset, I think it's being positive about, one, who you are, your identity, who you were created to be, your gifts and talents and strengths, and being positive about those things and about those truths in your life. It's also being positive about the opportunities that you have every day. Not that you have to do certain things, but that you get to do those things based on the roles that you play and the opportunities in your life. And so when we think about being positive about who we are, being positive about the opportunities that we have, we can go out in each day and have a positive mindset. And so having that positive mindset is very important to developing the best attitude. The second thing is having the right perspective or an accurate perspective on how things are. A lot of times we'll get zeroed in, especially if a negative thing happens in our lives, and we get zoomed in on that micro moment, that negative thing that's just happened, whether it be in sports or business or life. And we need to zoom out at that point in time and develop the proper perspective. I've worked with a lot of athletes where they're just not hitting their shots that night and they think, well, I'm just a bad shooter, or this is awful, or I'm a bad player. And when they zoom out and have perspective and know that every shot's not going to be perfect, but actually they are a good shooter and that the rhythm's going to come back, they make adjustments to how they're playing that night, and it helps them to develop a proper perspective about life, about what they're going through, about the opportunities they have in future moments to be their best. And I think that's true in life too. We have to develop that proper perspective, and it all deals with zooming out and thinking about strengths and gifts and talents in our lives. It also is developing a perspective about things that we can control. When we don't have the right perspective, we're typically focused on outcomes and things that we can't control. When we zoom out and develop the proper perspective, we're thinking about process-oriented things that we can control. And so having the right perspective is the second thing in developing the best attitude, which leads to the third thing of developing productive thoughts, nurturing productive thoughts in our lives. And I think that's really important because a lot of thoughts, again, will enter our brain, but our mind chooses what to do with that. And I think we have to be aware of those thoughts and to ask, is this thought that's entering my mind, is it helpful or hurtful? And if it's hurtful, we discard it and we think about helpful thoughts that will be productive in allowing us to focus on what's next. Again, working with an athlete, they may not be able to control every outcome that happens, but they can have productive thoughts about their energy and effort and competing. And so those are all productive thoughts that will help them to accomplish the goal and to give their best. And I think that's really important when you think about, your life, using productive thoughts and using that evaluation of is it a productive thought or is it a non-productive thought? And making sure that we nurture productive thoughts and we leverage productive thoughts to have the best attitude. So, three quick things: developing that positive mindset in our lives, developing the proper perspective, and having productive thoughts that we can nurture that will help us to have the best attitude in life. So, hope you all apply those this week and just keep leading well, performing at your best, and making the most of the moments in your life.